welcome back to Girlfriends Unwine. I am Linda.
And I'm Carrie.
And today we wanted to talk about how we transitioned from working full-time into kind of what we do now. Do you want to start off with like what we do now?
Yes. So what we do now is we are full-time students, and we also do part-time of everything pretty much. Yeah. But the main thing is we do work study at school. We're an instructional designer's assistant. So just to give a little information on what that is if any of you guys work on Canvas online for school and college, we're the ones behind the scenes making sure all the dates are updated and that everything looks good. So when it gets published for you to get into class, you're ready to go and you're not confused.
Yes. So basically it took a while to get where we are today, and we did a little bit of everything, even like as if we're at now. For me, just a little background, I had to work full time, and I didn't think I could go back to school just because I had a kid, and so school was like far off in my mind. After high school, I went to Biola. That's where we both go right now, and then I took like a 6-year break, so it was a big break, and then I went back. I'm doing undergrad at Biola, and do you want to share what you're doing?
And I'm doing master's in teaching.
What did you get your bachelor's in?
Oh, okay. Do I say my whole story?
Yeah.
Okay. So my story is I did my undergrad at an art school. I got my bachelor's of science in 2015, and straight from there I decided I wanted to get my master's in teaching. I went straight in, and it was the same year that I was going to get married. It was a lot going on. I had to move out of where I was living in Hollywood. So going straight into that was not a good idea. I had to drop halfway in the semester, and I just went straight into working to get enough money for our wedding and everything. So that was about 16, 17, 18. So like 2 to 3 years after, I decided to go back. I was also doing full time. I didn't think I could leave it also because we were living in I think a nice place, and we loved it, and we didn't want to move anywhere else. So I needed my income to continue living there, having my car, everything. But God spoke to my life, and that's when I left everything and went full-time school first with no work. I don't know how we made it through that. Well, we do know. And then from there, I ended up getting a work-study. I did work-study job, and then that's how I am now.
Yeah, and I think this is like a video that we just want to kind of like share our story and kind of say like how we got here, but also just to encourage you. And if you, obviously I don't think if you're like uneasy about what to study, like just to drop everything and study, but if you know and you've been desiring and you like know what your calling is and like know what you want to do, then there shouldn't be no circumstance that should stop you. And you will see, like, if God, like your husband always says, if it's God's will, like he'll pay the bill. Like you'll see God move, but you just have to take the first step. And the first step is always uncomfortable and maybe scary, but as long as you take that first step, then you're just gonna see like he'll make it happen. And sometimes it's not how we want it or how we expect it or how we've planned every little thing, but it's just gonna happen. So I know, like for me, I've had a very supportive family and friends. For me, I worked at a full-time at this company, which I actually liked, and I didn't want to leave, but I asked God, like, if I go up in that company, then I won't go to school. Like, I needed a sign because I didn't know what to do. Or if I don't get that position, then I'll go back to school full-time. So I didn't get that position, which I thought was weird because I was, like, super qualified for.
She was.
So I was like, okay, it's obviously not meant to be. Like, this is God telling me, like, no, my destiny's taking me somewhere else. So I decided to quit that job and to pursue full-time. In order for me to do full-time schooling, I had to like move out of our apartment. We were paying for a 2-bedroom at the time. It was just my husband and I and Elijah. To be honest, we didn't even need a 2-bedroom apartment. Elijah wasn't even using the bedroom. It was kind of like his playroom, but we didn't need that. We were just really comfortable, and we always wanted to live on our own, but it wasn't going to be happening going back full time to school. So I had to live with my dad. And at the time, like even my husband, I'm so grateful for him because he had to sacrifice a lot. Like he never wanted to move in with family as well. He was all about living by himself. but we decided that we were gonna have to kind of go through this difficult, time to go our dreams. So we had to move in with family, and yeah, that's it for me. I don't know if you want to go. We go back and forth.
Well, you know how you coordinate?
Yeah.
I have proof that was my quote.
Oh, that was your quote first? Oh, sorry. So that was her quote first?
I have a paper. I wrote, and then he copied for me, but he speaks it more. But yeah, that God's will is God's bill.
Mm.
We've always said that with Nate. First Nate.
Sorry, so Carrie said it first.
But same here. I remember I was in the office. Between dropping out of school and going back, I had, I don't know, like 5 different jobs. I worked in her job, I worked in another job, and finally the one before I went to school, that one was really good, paid really good, and I loved it. Again, like her, I didn't want to leave it because the people were amazing, the pay was amazing. Like, it was, for me, it was really easy. But I was in my desk and I kept hearing podcasts of all these people that are like, I just left everything, it was so easy, and I think I texted her one day, I'm like, you know what, we need to do a video of California women doing their goals, because all the podcasts we heard were from Kansas or from, I don't know, Texas.
The middle of nowhere. Easy to live because it's so dirt cheap.
Dirt cheap, easy to live, easy to buy a 5-bedroom house for nothing. So I was like, I wish there was someone who can show their life while they succeed. Yeah. How hard it was to get there from California, because if you know, California is not cheap. Yeah. And sometimes some people, not everyone, but their easy way is just to go to a different state. Yeah. And we don't want to. Well, at least I don't want to go. You want to go to Spain?
I wouldn't mind, but my husband does not want to leave.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to leave California unless, like, I don't know, somebody gives me a free house or something. But anyways, I was there, and I remember once I texted her, and I was like, hey, I'm not going to go to work. I remember Nate went to drop me off that day, and I was stepping my foot out, and I just started crying, and he's like, what's wrong? He's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. Like, this is not my calling. I just started crying. He's like, okay, drop me off. Take the day. And the way I took the day is I called her. I'm like, hey, I need to talk to you during lunch. I went to Starbucks, and I think I was crying. Yeah, I was like, I don't know what to do. I feel suffocated. And I think at that moment she had already started half-time school.
I did do part-time. I took 2 classes just to test the waters while I was working full-time to see if I could do it. Like, I didn't do school for 6 years, so I wanted to see, like, if I still got it in me. Yeah. Just to test the waters.
And because I saw her do that, I guess it inspired me, and I talked to her, and I was like, I don't know what to do. What should I do? And then she's just like, pray about it, and like, if it's meant to be, everything's going to go into place and everything. And then I remember that evening I went home, that afternoon, sorry. I went home and I did a video, which probably we can share later on. Because it was the day that I was just breaking down. Like, I was breaking down and I did a video. I'm like, I'm going to look at this video later on when everything's fine and be like, wow, like, I really need to do this change. Which maybe we can share it later. Yeah. But I just cried and I was like, God, like, what do I do? What do I do? And then not immediately, a couple of days later, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to go back to school. I applied, and because I messed up in 2016, they're like, it's not going to be easy for you to come back. So I said, okay, I'm going to write a paper. I'm going to do this. I remember I called my sister-in-law, and I was like, hey, you got your master's degree. I need you to help me write a paper because I'm bad at writing papers. So we sat down, we wrote papers. I sent it to her, to Nate, everyone to review it. I sent it in, and at that time that I started writing the paper, I was already out of work. Like, I couldn't do work anymore. I just needed a break. And I sent it in, and by the grace of God, they accepted me back in. I got back in, and then I was back in school. And so far, it's been good.
I know, and for me, it was, like, I knew I always wanted to go back to school, but again, that fear. So how I said we decided to move back in here. For a whole year, I didn't work, which was hard on David being, like, the sole provider and being, like, sacrificing before, like, the lifestyle we used to live to now. But then, thankfully, like, this year, it was, I mean, I'm just telling you, it's, like, just God, because he knows the desires of our heart. And he, like, I didn't think I could do full-time school. I was taking, like, 18 units. And I had to do an internship one of these semesters. It was a requirement for my major. And I was willing to, like, since it was a class, I was going in the mentality, like, it's a class. Like, I'm just going to try to get an internship. So I called someone that I used to know. I used to volunteer for them, like, 6 years ago as a freshman. I reached out, I'm like, hey, I need an internship. And he just provided with me, like, a job. And I was like, okay, like, I didn't expect to get paid for this. Like, it's a class, but I took it. So I ended up working perfectly because it was during school hours. It was a class, a requirement, and then God decided to bless me with it and, like, pay me, which was so, it helped ease, like, so much worry. And due to, like, the coronavirus, they had to stop working. Meanwhile, this thing, like, blows over. But the next day, like, Carrie hooked me up with the job at Biola IDA, which is crazy because now I'm able to go to school and still, like, get money. And now I'm doing tutoring, which this is just recent, but I'm doing tutoring right now that it's summer and I'm not taking any classes, which is another source of income. And again, you guys, like, I have a kid, I was going to school, and there's nothing, like, finances shouldn't stop you. Like, resources shouldn't be, like, it's always going to be no. Like, there's never going to be enough for you to follow your dream. Like, it's just never enough unless you're a millionaire and money's not worrying. But for, like, everyday people, like, money, there's never going to be enough. So why not just start and, like, see where your dream takes you, like, see where this path takes you. And it's a little scary, like, I'm not gonna lie, we are taking out student loans because Biola's expensive. It's a private university, and so we can't pay everything off. I am getting help, thankfully, from my father. Like, one of his dreams is to pay off, like, to help us pay off, like, for this school, but it's a lot. So I am still taking out student loans, and that does worry me sometimes, but like, I'm hoping the Teach Grant can cover most of it at the end. But I know if, like, God takes me another direction, like, it's gonna be okay. And so, like, money should never stop you. That should not be what stops you from reaching, like, where God wants you to be.
Yeah. And then to add to, like, when we didn't have a job, one thing my husband and I would always say is, like, it's okay to start all over again. We've started all over again so many times.
Yeah.
And when I left my job, like I said, it was, like, both of our incomes to live where we lived.
Yeah.
He was paying on his own. I really don't know how he did it. I don't know if he went to do gigs or something. But he paid it for a couple of months until he said, you know what, like, this is the last month and we're going to be homeless.
Yeah.
So we just prayed about it, and by the grace of God, we looked at Biola Classifieds. And there was this couple that they had a side house that, not a side house, like a garage with just space. So it's just like a little studio. Yeah. And they let us. They usually never rent to couples. They only rent to girls. But they were nice, and again, by the grace of God, they let us stay there. We were there for about a year, which was way less than our rent. So that helped us, you know, get back on track. Like I said, it's okay to start all over again. Right now that you were talking about how I hooked you up with a job, one thing that I remember was, like, I think we've been, like, helping each other out for a long time. Like, this is probably personal, but I remember one day I was in the job where we worked together. I don't know if you want to say the name, but it's a good
Property
company.
Rate. Yeah, I still like Property
Yeah,
Rate.
they were awesome. They gave me an opportunity too. When I was working there, I remember once I asked her, like, hey, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I know you have your family, and I think she just started school. I'm like, but I need $5 for gas. Like, I would text her and I was like, I need $5 for gas. I just need to make it home, and then he's gonna put gas later. And then she hooked me up with the Property Rate job when I really needed, and then, like, back and forth. And then also with the IDA. And then I helped with the IDA a little bit, and then she helped me out with the political office.
Oh, yeah.
They had to do phone banks. And then
like,
she's like, hey, you want to do it? I'm like, sure. And that was extra money, so we're, like, always.
Yeah. Or you've helped me too, like, where it's like, oh, the church needs babysitting, and then I go, like,
that's true.
We just, like, oh, we have gigs here, we have gigs there, like, just help out. And I think that's what's important. Like, you need to make sure that if you have a vision, if family doesn't support you and friends, don't let that hinder. But also, I think for me, it's what gave me the peace of, like, this is what God wants me to do, because thankfully, like, my dad allowed me to move into his place. Then Elijah's his nana, she's been, like, without her I wouldn't be able to go to school. Like, she has been watching my son, and she loves him, and I feel comfortable, like, her watching him. It's his other grandma. And then, like, friends have supported with, like, side gigs, and it's like, if I need a babysitter, like, so many friends have just stepped in. Like, it's definitely not been easy, but they make it easier. And so you want to have people around you that are like willing to support you in any way. Maybe sometimes they can't give you money or help you with the gig, but if you have kids and you need to watch out, or if you need help with editing like your assignment or whatever it is, like it helps so much when you have support of friends and family, and even if it's just people praying for you, like if they can't do anything, if they're just praying for you, because it definitely isn't easy to just leave everything and succeed. Like you can't see the fruit now, so you need people to believe in you, and it's like it's gonna, even your spouse, like they wouldn't have just been okay with us like doing this, moving in together, and not having a home of our own, if they didn't believe that this is going to help on our future and we're going to be better than we were before, because we were comfortable. Like we both had like apartments, living in our own, like we were living like, you know, like maybe middle class, lower middle class. We were going out, like we were comfortable, but we had to leave all that. Like we have to start somewhere, and you can't let fear like paralyze you. One of the things also is like, if you're given a second chance, because I think we were both given a second chance, and that's why I think we value it so much more. It's like, either if you haven't started school or if you haven't started out, like don't take it for granted. That's one. Like just give it your all and see it as an opportunity, as a gift from God, and don't take advantage of it. And now if you think like I messed up once, it's too late. Like this is our second chance. Like we both messed up. If you guys see my GPA from my first year there, it was horrendous. It was horrendous. I think I got a 2 in my, like, never in my life did I get like a 2 point something, and I got a 2 point something. But coming back, like I only had like 3.7 and higher, and it's because I recognize that it's a second opportunity. Well, I have so much more to lose now. Like my husband is sacrificing so much more. Like I'm sacrificing so much more. Like my kid is, my family's been helping me, so it's like I can't like let them down. But also I recognize that this is such a blessing, so I don't want to just lose it again. And so we work hard because of it. And I think because we realize what we've had to give in order to continue our dream. So
yeah, I agree. Also, when I'm doing schoolwork, I really do push it, because like I said, it's second chance, and I always keep that in mind. Like God gave me the opportunity to come back. Yeah. And He always reminds me of how it feels to have that opportunity. And now that we've been in school and everything, again, we got the opportunity to move in and be housemates with the Garcias. And I guess the way it started is that we, as friends, we got together and we both said, let's do a goal. Let's have a goal. No more, crazy spending like before. Let's just, own our cars. Get a good rent that we can afford. We're all in the Dave Ramsey journey. Yeah. So it's also easy when, not easy, I mean kind of easy. It's easier. Yeah. When you have a team of people that support you and like are in the same journey with you. Yeah. Because I know sometimes like I really want to go out for pizza, but then if everybody's like, no, we're eating at home, then I'll be like, okay, we're eating at home. And that saves us money. Or
not to feel embarrassed. Like sometimes it's like, oh, we're gonna do this, and it's like, oh, well, right now it's not my budget, or I already spent my budget's limit, or my allowance doesn't cover that, or whatever. Like it's easier. I don't feel ashamed of trying to like pretend that I can do what you guys can do. It's like, oh, I can't, and that's it. There's like no shame, no judgment, because we know like we're on the same page, I think.
And so right now, as you guys already know, we've mentioned it many times, we're housemates. So now we're living together. We're on the same goal. We even have traveling plans together. Yeah. So our goal right now is living together for 2 years. That sounds crazy. I know, 2 years with 2 different families, but so far it's been working. Yeah. We have like a schedule of like cleaning and taking out trash, and I mean, I don't know. You want to share more about?
Yeah, and it's because like Karen and I were both planning on graduating this upcoming year, right?
Yes.
Or like soonish. 2020 or 2021. So our goal is like we still want to live together, even if we like have our career, just to like save, like maximize our savings. But also like we recognize that like we need each other and we need like support in order to finish like our school year with going full time. Like it's not easy, again, full time, and just God forbid, like because student teaching sometimes. Like they say it's sometimes hard that you can't have like a side gig or whatever. So if one of us needs to like let go of a job, it's so easier if we know, okay, like we're not going to lose the place we live in or whatever, because rent is crazy expensive. And so just I think the takeaway from this is like, don't be afraid to sacrifice. Like, you're not going to live by yourself. Maybe you're not going to be able to go out to eat or whatever it is. But there's like a greater thing. And it's not even that bad. I don't feel like, oh my goodness, my life sucks. Like, I can't do anything. There's days where I like twitch out a little bit and it's like, oh, I wish I could spend more or whatever. But if you just constantly remind yourself, and again, it helps when you have people around you reminding yourself, that's like, okay, just, take it a day at a time, and it's going to be so worth it. And don't ever say like, oh, I'll start next year, because if you keep pushing it back, before you know, like 6 years flew by and I didn't go back to school, and it was so fast. I couldn't believe like it's been 6 years. And just start like today, because then the year's going to go by and you're going to regret, oh, I would have been closer then if I just started now. So just start. It's never too late to start.
Yeah. And it's a fun journey. I mean,
it is.
It's gonna be fun. Like I said, you guys are just gonna see us travel together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be every day because we're saving.
Yeah,
but
like once a year.
Once a year, you guys will see us travel, because you also need a break.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna be working and school and everything, but you always need a break just to have time with family, friends, or whatever.
And one of the things I think we're like learn from each other is like, never say no to an opportunity, even if it sounds scary. Right? That's what, like, your professor said?
Yes. So in my undergrad, it was, they taught us about software and kind of being an independent contractor. And he said, you never say no to a job. You say yes, and you figure it out before it's time for you to actually do it. So what we've been doing this summer, spring, is we have a lot of little side gigs, which is mostly for our own shopping.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going crazy shopping, but at least, like, when we go grocery shopping, because we go grocery shopping together, we buy a little gift for ourselves. Like, a little gift can be, like, stickers for our journal.
Yeah. Like, we're happy with I'm happy with the mug. Like, I bought a mug, and I was like, oh my God, it was like $5, and that makes me, we're not spending, like, $100 or whatever.
So, I know, like, I have, like, two little gigs, and then I had one gig for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then there's one that's coming up soon. I'm excited. I'll take it about later. And then she has like 1 or 2 right now.
Yeah. And it's like, don't limit yourself. Like, I'm still looking, like, if there happens to be a gig and I already have a gig or 2, like, I'm just gonna say yes and take it on. And if it becomes too hard, then I'll say, okay, I can't. But just like try it. Like, just try it. The worst thing that can happen is you learn from it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work out, but you learn from it for the next time. But yeah, I'm like a big thing. Like, I am known for just loading up my plate to the max to see what's my limit, And if you're gonna crack, then scale it down. But just, you're not gonna know your limit until you just max it out.
And we have to give a shout out to our husbands, because
yes,
like she said, we can do a gig, but if we're like, oh, it's so overwhelming, we can easily stop.
Yeah.
But we know we have rent money, and we know we have food and the essentials, because our husbands, they're doing full time.
Yeah.
They're both working full time, and they're both ministry full time.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're doing it. They can chat under their name, but
we can depend on them.
Yes,
we're not gonna go hungry or have a roof over our head. Yeah. And they even, like she said, they can talk about it, but Nate went back to school, right? Or I don't know if
No, yeah, he actually went back to school online. He's going to take it online until I'm done, and then he's going to go full-time. So that's why I'm pushing to finish faster, because I'm proud of you, baby. You did good.
Yeah, and David, like, without it even talking, like, it just happened. Like, David is in the process. Like, he just did his FAFSA. He just got accepted. So he wants to go get his bachelor's. So it's like, it's not just us and we're like selfish. Like, we're helping our husbands and supporting them if they want to go out and, get better in their career or their calling. But it's definitely like a mindset. And I think it's true that they say it's so important, the friends that you're around with, because you influence each other. Like, it just needs one person to, like, start their new life, and then it's like, if you see that they're happy and they're excited for their future, it like you get influenced, and you're like, oh, I want to do it too, and then I want to do it too, and then like now all 4 of us are educating ourselves. And not saying like it has to be education, it could be whatever it is. If you want to start a business, if you want to go out and find the guy you're looking for, whatever it is, but you just have to go and just not be in here anymore, but like just do little steps at a time.
Don't leave it for Monday. On Monday I'll do it. It's like, just do it. Like I said, business, anything, just do it.
Yeah, just commit to it and like give your 100% and see where it goes.
Yeah. So now that you guys heard a little bit of how we're here as housemates and everything, leave us a comment. Have you done anything to change your life, or do you want to know more about a specific thing we said? Because I think we just hit the surface.
Yeah, for sure.
So go ahead and share what your opinions, like, dislikes, or questions.
Yeah, or maybe if, like, what step you're going to take to further your future.
Also, if you have any suggestions of wine.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to hit the thumbs up, hit that little red subscribe button, and comment and share this with your friends.
Bye.
Bye.